Guten Tag. Welcome to Eric the Car Guy. Today we have a 1999 Ford Taurus that has had a brake job done in the not too distant past. And I run into this on occasion. In fact, I've run into it on enough occasions to where I'm very cautious if I install shims on brake pads, particularly the outer pad, as a result of experiences just like this. Why don't we have a look at what I'm talking about? Now what we have here is a situation where there's a deep groove being cut into a new rotor. Reason for that is this guy right here. The brake pad shim has come out, slid down, and started cutting right into the rotor. This is a bad thing. I've actually seen these get to the point where they cut all the way through and the rotor was no longer attached to what's referred to as the hat. So you want to be really careful installing these shims. Just for comparison, this is the other side, which doesn't have the same issue, and as you can see is normal. I'm just going to come out and say it. Not all brake pads are created equal. Some brake pad manufacturers have these shims to help prevent noise, and some shops out there I've seen take a lot of goop, let's say, and try to put it in there also to reduce noise. My philosophy is if you have to go through that much trouble to reduce noise in the brake pad, then maybe you should try a different brake pad. I realize that this isn't necessarily possible in many instances because, well, let's face it, you want to go to the shop and you want to get brake pads that are only like 20 bucks. Well, I can tell you right now, if you put really cheap brake pads on your car, they're going to make noise. And when they make noise, don't cry to anybody because you get what you pay for. Let me get off my soapbox and actually show you what I'm going to do to fix this. First, make sure when you lift the vehicle that you support it, I'm using the frame here, with a jack stand. I also have the floor jack over here holding it up. So lots of people get hurt because they don't use jack stands. Even though I'm not fully under the car, I'm using them because I like my extremities. This is a 12mm. Oh wait, helps if I turn it the right way. That would be loosening it. I just remove the bottom fastener because I can very easily flip this up. Now, this type of pad has little hooks that should have held this shim in place. It obviously did not. I normally install these with the hooks. The ones that just sort of stick on, I don't even use them. But we're just going to do that to fix it. And this one also is moving around quite a bit. So we're just going to remove those all together. And I'm going to clean and lubricate everything. This one looks like it's starting to get down there though. Might want to replace this. Here's a better look at the damage. That big groove is not supposed to be there. Alright, now I've gone out and purchased a new set of pads. And these pads have a type of shim that's actually molded to the backing plate here. And it says that these pads were cut with a laser. I find that hard to believe, but whatever. Like you can see, this type here with this plastic adhesive, I don't know if they weren't installed correctly or what, but the end result is the shim came loose, and this is actually very slick, this plastic, so once it lost adhesive, and you gotta think, brakes turn speed into heat, so they get hot. Don't melt stuff. In fact, brakes like this, they come in and like right off the road, don't touch them because they'll burn you like bad. I'll show you one more quick thing, and I've already shown you how to install a disc brake, so I'm not even going to bother. Lots of you may be familiar with my video concerning the rotor screws that hold brake rotors on some vehicles. Well, this one doesn't have it. And what happens when you go to try to install the caliper and the pads is this whole assembly wants to go all over the place. Well, here's a quick tip for you. Take, this is an old axle nut, or an axle nut that I didn't use. I stick it on the stud, and I just run it down by hand. I get the rotor centered up, And that holds my rotor in place while I install everything, my brake pads and everything else. So that way I don't have to fight with my piston or any of that other kind of stuff. So, very simple, easy thing to do. Old axle nut or just a big old nut or whatever will make it so you don't have to run the lug nut all the way down. Some lug nuts are capped and you won't be able to do that anyway. Little quick tip for you. Me amo Eric the Car Guy, and I hope you've enjoyed this little tutorial. Thank you to all new and old subscribers, and if you haven't subscribed yet, go ahead and click that little yellow button. You know you want to. Lots of people are doing it. Lest we forget, you can find me on Facebook and follow me on Twitter if you're so inclined for that kind of thing. I'm trying to get better at it. It's hard to push the keys on my phone with the wrench. From here, you know the drill. Be safe, have fun, and of course, as always, stay dirty. See ya.